Oh, damn, I started with Guppy's collar. Neat. I think so, Con Snow. How do you fill up Greedier, or how do you unlock Greedier again? Fill up the donut machine and greed. I think. I genuinely don't remember. That sounds right, but it also, to me, sounds like what you do to, it also sounds to me like what you do to unlock Keeper, so I don't remember, like, I genuinely don't remember. It's been years since I completed a truly fresh save file. I feel like more people should be talking about Greedier mode. I almost tried to check for the secret room like I hadn't already found it. I was sitting here trying to figure out what the benefits were for me bombing my way in when I had a red heart on the floor. And now I'm realizing that the benefits to me bombing my way in is that I get to keep the entire black heart, which is nice. I probably shouldn't have picked it up so early, though. If I lose it before I get to the boss fight, or before I get to the next floor, I'll be mad at myself. Oh well. 500 coins in the donut machine is in greed mode. There you go. It's been such a long time since I've unlocked that stuff, I forget. Does that fly do damage to multiples when it lingers? Because if so, rooms like this are much less anxiety-inducing. I feel like that last run got dicey when we used all that soul heart health on the sack room, and all it did was pay out with gold, and because shops have been nerfed so hard, coins, like, money in this game is not the catalyst for change in a run that it used to be. Not the catalyst for change that it used to be. It used to be whenever I had a dicey run and a whole bunch of money, I feel like I could genuinely use the shop to just make the run better over time. That certainly doesn't feel like it's the case anymore. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to use the tower card not here, because it's so much more difficult to direct. It's so much more difficult to direct where the bombs go. Well, I guess I can. Oh, hold on. Just do one like this. Just pick on one. Oh no! Well, I still have one. Hold on. We'll do this. The fly scared me on its way back. D, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'll take one range upgrade. I think that'll get there. I think that'll get the job done. It's not. It's gonna come up short. I get so mad at myself when I fuck those things up. Oh well. I guess at the very least, what I didn't do was I didn't take a stupid chance, miss, or get the tinted rock and have it be just like bombs and keys and lose my black heart in the process. That's probably the second secret room. What I thought I might do is I thought I might use the tower card in here and then just use the money that I got from it hitting the dono machine to grab up one of these. That was likely the smart call. I just played it real badly. Oh well. Sound alerts are working. I'm just dumb and jump scared myself in the process. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not the only one sharing in that now. I was gonna say, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, damn, I'm getting real hungry. Why am I getting so hungry? But it's because it's 11 o'clock. Ravenous. Ooh. feel like after I've said that now, this next shop's gonna be dynamite. Just to prove that shops can, Yeah, it is 11 o'clock Eastern time.
This is the story of the newest denizen
Serene!
of the cave.
Welcome back. Tier 1, 7 months. I've enjoyed shooting the shit with a handful of y'all over at Justin's place after this societal debacle, this social experiment that's called my channel is over and done with. I dig how much crossover there is. How many of us just move over to Justin's stream when it's done, when it's over? The unofficial after party. I would once again kill for a tiers upgrade. For me, you're the pre-funk before Justin logs in. I love that. That is the method to my madness when it comes to why, like, you guys have probably gathered at this point the number of times that I'm 5, 10, 15 minutes late getting going in the morning. I am not a person who functions well before lunch. But I do this time slot just because I like the idea of being the warm-up act. I got no problem being the warm-up act for all the people who do afternoon and evening streaming. I got no desire to make you guys choose between, like, me and Justin and Cobalt and NL and all the other people who jockey for American primetime. I'll be more than happy to be the person who gets up and faces the day earlier than I want to, just so I'm not on at the same time. Well, the thing that really sucks is that I'm not on at the same time as all those people, which means I don't get to do a lot of co-op stuff. I feel like I really hurt myself with regards to the fact that, like, I saw, like, Smashly and Friends. I saw Smashly and Friends playing, was it Back 4 Blood? That new sort of Left 4 Dead looking game. And I was like, oh man, I don't get offered sponsored time where I can play with a whole bunch of people because, like, if it happens, it's gotta happen where I drag the stream out long and I wait for, like, Justin or Brizzy or whoever to come on late in the day or early in the afternoon. Late in the day for me, early in the afternoon for them. Thank you for your service. Literally braver than the troops. Well, we share one thing in common, is that we both are doing our jobs. Both just doing our jobs. I have enough devices I can watch 5 different channels at once. My prime time for my family, my prime time is for my family, so you and Brizzy are my go-to. Yeah, no, this worked out pretty well. I like this morning slot. I just don't like that it's in the morning. Hey, I like Toxic Shock very much. I hate the way my body feels in the morning. It's like it's actively fighting against me. But all that being said, I do like the benefits that come with being a morning streamer. It does also mean that my evenings are open. So if there's, nighttime dinner plans, or if there's dinner plans, evening plans back in the time where trips to the movies or theme parks or sleepovers or whatever happened, it's not that big a shock to think that I might be able to make... What the fuck hit me? I think he fired a shot at me and I just didn't see it. But yeah, it's nice having my evenings open. Toxic Shock is doing some real heavy lifting. It is the rotten baby of this run. I'd love to just get Guppy. I feel like that happens once in a blue moon. It's not even all that good a transformation anymore. But Flight and Flies sure does take the sting out of a lot of what ails you in this game. Oh god, same. I ache like crazy. Fuck getting old. I couldn't agree more. I used to drink and smoke cigarettes until 2:30 in the morning. And then go jogging the next day. As a way to, like, detox and kind of punish myself for my night of debauchery. Now, if I stay up until 1, there's a halfway decent chance I'm canceling stream. Even if I'm drinking Diet Coke. If I drink Diet Coke and stay up till 1 o'clock, there's a coin flip chance that I'm canceling stream. This is gonna take a minute. Who Guru, what's going on? There we go. Yo, Tears upgrade. None of those are soul hearts, but that's okay. Dark Judas doesn't really help me. Pound of Flesh is kind of interesting, though. I was just saying that shops aren't all that critical anymore. We can just save all of our money and spend it on deals with the devil and keep our health. Ugh. Oh god, K-Stroop, the THC and CBD that I took, the funny thing about that was that there was no question. I was physically incapable of doing my job. I fight every morning, it feels like, with whether or not... I fight every morning with whether or not I have the mental fortitude of tackling just the basics. The basics of being a functioning human being. It's one thing when I'm like so hungover that I can't do my job. That doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, and it happens more frequently with less alcohol or any sort of controlled substance right now. Yeah, the thing for me is just being 41 years old. You just wake up and you just have a headache for no reason. You just wake up with a headache for no reason. That's the joy of getting old. Headaches used to be reserved for being sick. Headaches used to be reserved for drinking too much. Headaches used to be reserved for like, oh man, I had a late night of passionate arguing with my lover. Afterwards, we stayed up until dawn, lovemaking, and sealing the wounds of the previous heated discussions. And now it's just like, oh man, Amber and I watched one too many episodes of What We Do in the Shadows. And now I'm miserably tired. Yeah, all of them behind the eyeball, all of them like right next to your, like between your eyeball and your temple. Joints hurt. Your back aches if you sleep in the wrong position, which is on a bed. Wifey and I were talking about me streaming, and I said it would never happen. A, I have a face for radio, and B, the only time I could do it and not miss my favorite streamers would be the Graveyard stream, and no, thank you. I've seen people do really well in Graveyard in that third shift, but I've also seen people that I know, like, even when they do well, where that third shift just slowly but surely drives them insane. Is this a middle-aged man support group? Because I'm in. Yeah, sort of inadvertently. Yeah, like, honestly, through no other reason than just guilt by association, all of us just being near each other. Yeah, we're a whole bunch of middle-aged individuals who are just suffering with the ravages of time. I don't think I get migraines. I get bad headaches, but I hesitate to call them migraines. I'm still reasonably functional after once my headaches kick in, but like, I will say that like, I feel bad because I feel like I still have the energy to get stuff done after stream's over, but after talking non-stop, and I mean non-stop, I mean, if I have dead air in this stream, I feel really uncomfortable. But after talking essentially non-stop for 7 hours, the moment stream's over, I'm almost forced into a nap just so my system can reboot, because I do have a little bit of baritone in my voice, and it actually kind of like vibrates the bones in my skull throughout the course of the day. Like, it feels like my voice is like centered right in the middle of my head. Like, this kind of bassy voice is firing up. It hits like the top of my throat. All of this resonates. And then by the time the streaming day is over, I have a headache like I've been on a roller coaster. And I have to go lay down and close my eyes until it's done. And it genuinely bums me out, because that 3:30 to 5:30 stretch between being done with stream and like making dinner, I could get so much done there. Third shift Graveyard does drive you crazy. Cowboy, what's going on, homeboy? Yeah, I only worked it one summer, and it really threw me off. It didn't help that, I mean, like, proof positive, I was, like, 19 years old. So I could work graveyard shift and still function as a human being. But I also, at the time, had a girlfriend. Squirrel Girl. It was Squirrel Girl. But I also had a girlfriend who didn't understand that I was working through the night and going to bed at 7 and would wake me up at 10 and ask me if I wanted to go, like, would ask me if I wanted to go swimming. And because I liked kissing her, I would say yes. Yo, I like Compound Fracture. But that would mean that I would go back to work to, you know, stock shelves overnight. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad trade-off. I go back to work stocking shelves at night on like 3 hours of sleep, and she'd do that to me over and over and over again. I get wicked bad migraines, auras, random parts of my body going numb, but not, only on the left side of my body, nausea. Yeah, see, that's, I've never, again, I never want to make, you know, my suffering's never invalid regardless of what it is, but I never want to compare it to people who I think have it way worse than me. And I feel like people who are tackling like legitimate migraines have it way worse than me. So with in regards to that, I always feel a little bit fortunate. I honestly don't know how your streamers can talk for so many hours on end. It's wild. Respect. You know, I've had practice. I have a theater degree. I've taken a lot of advanced speech classes. They don't really teach you about what to do about, like, you've been talking for 7 hours and now your brain hurts. They don't really cover that one in many of the classes. Yeah, all that being said though, like, it's really not all that bad. It's around the 12 to 1 o'clock hour where I really do start to feel drained. And it takes a while to reset. Yeah, the power of Pretty Girl defeats exhaustion. I will say this, like, she in the beginning, when things got started between Squirrel Girl and I, it was pretty sexy. It was pretty good. She was this person who had a very promiscuous lifestyle, and I was this sheltered, barely removed virgin. So she held my hand through a lot of discovery. She was more than happy to help me corrupt myself a little bit. So in the very beginning, it was an awful lot of fun. It was just towards the end that it got a little psychotic. Honestly, the irony is that the more dirty I got, like the more morally compromised she made me, the less she trusted or liked what I had become. Yeah, what's funny is that Packet Greaser knows exactly who I'm talking about, and also dated somebody from that group. The irony is that the person that Packet Greaser dated from that group, Squirrel Girl, came to me before anything had ever happened or words had ever been exchanged. I don't think this is at a point in time when Packet Greaser was with her. But Squirrel Girl came to me and was just like, listen, I think it's awesome that you and I are together now. And officially boyfriend and girlfriend. I just have one tiny ask. And I was like, what's that? And she was like, don't sleep with my friend blank. And I was like, what do you mean, don't sleep with... You mean your best friend blank? Yeah, you'd be doing me a huge solid if you didn't sleep with my best friend. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, basically what it sounds like. She has a tendency to try to hook up with the guys that I'm dating. And I'm like, have you guys talked about that? It seems peculiar behavior. She's like, oh, I don't think she'll, like, she hasn't done it with, like, every guy I've ever been with, but, like, she has done it before, so, like, do me a huge solid and don't sleep with blank. And I was like, I hadn't thought about it until now, but now that that's seated in my head. Now I'm sort of curious about it. That never happened. It never came up, not even close. But like, yeah, that was one of the initial warnings. Was, hey, do me a huge favor and don't sleep with my best friend. And I was like, yeah, I guess I could figure out a way to not do that. In exchange for this Herculean effort, I am gonna demand that I pick every movie we go to while we're together. That was what we know in business as a dick move. I stopped being friends with my best friend after he started dating my ex. Yeah, these two stuck it out for a really long time. These two stuck it out for a really long time, considering the fact that that was apparently a sticking point in their friendship, was that one of them was constantly trying to hook up with the other one's significant, which always kind of struck me as weird. That was a weird group. That was a weird cluster of humans. Betrayal, you say? Whoops, you're a red fly. Sorry. No deal with the devil, you say? To shreds, you say? Hey, Taffy, do me a huge favor and don't sleep with my co-mod, APOC. I promise nothing. You knew what you were getting into when you signed up, Reenie. Don't you find it heartwarming that they managed to stay best friends despite their difficulties? Yeah, it's a real, it's like Frozen. That was basically the first draft of Frozen. Initially, in the first draft of Frozen, it was Anna and Elsa overcome the fact that Anna is constantly trying to fuck Elsa's boyfriends. But they overcome that to prove what a strong sister relationship could be. That shit maybe RS Fighter. What's really funny is that that girl was super excited when we first got together. This was the same girl that told me she had a journal where she had kept notes on and ranked all the men she had been with. Like, that was the kind of stuff that I was told to, like, wow me, because she knew I was essentially against my will. Like, I wasn't quite incel material, but I was, you know, only a couple steps removed. I just didn't have the bad attitude about it. I was involuntarily celibate, but I didn't hate women because of it. I just was like, oh, I need to get better at this or something. And so she would, you know, she would take great joy in like watching me get kind of like uncomfortable, but in kind of a I can't wait to have sex sort of way. She took great joy in watching me squirm when she was just like, I have a journal with all the people I've slept with, and it's got notes and they're ranked. Like, she ranked each experience after she had it. But the problem was is that, like, the more she and I did stuff together and the more she corrupted me, the less she liked who I became. Like, on more than one occasion, she would, you know, she would basically say that she missed, like, the sweet, she liked the sweet, earnest, sincere, wide-eyed, wonder-filled version of me. Not the type who was just like, hey, choke me with this stocking and know there is no safe word. Or whatever. You know? Hit my dick with this meat mallet, and if I cry for you to stop, that's just a signal that I want you to do it harder. And the sort of bizarre thing was that, like, the more... Oh. Yeah, the more she and I, like, experienced each other, the less she liked who I became. Because, like, she couldn't shock me anymore, and I became more, like, acclimated to it, and even, like, hey, you know, let's do this. And she's like, what if we were just like traditional boyfriend and girlfriend and just didn't ever try to like explore the boundaries of our sexual limits? And I was just like, that's not how this started. That's not how this started. All right, this is gonna get a little dicey, but at least now I can see. Abs, we've covered this. Comedy's not funny unless you're specific. Comedy's not funny unless you can come up with what sounds like oddly specific examples. To be completely fair, the idea of anybody going even remotely close to my junk with a mallet does not sound fun. I want to say at one point I ended up on the part of the internet. I want to say that I ended up on the part of the internet where it was like, hey, is your thing getting your dick stomped on by stiletto heels? And I was like, no, it most certainly is not. I guess we're leaving. I can't afford either one of these to be bad trip. Speed.
The moon.
Well, the good news is our deal with the devil's not going to cost us health. Because the bad news is we have no health to give. One of those squeaky clown mallets. That's enough internet for today. Yeah, every once in a while, man, I wander across somebody's kink or fetish, and I gotta admit, there are a couple of them that I'm like, I don't think that's for me. Flash forward a decade later, and I'm like, this is absolutely my thing, and is apparently gonna be my thing forever. There are a lot of them, though, that I've run into where I'm just like, this is not my thing, and you flash forward 2 decades later, and I'm like, this is still super not my thing. I would like, very much, not to die. Oh, with this low-key run, please don't kill me. I didn't even see if that was health that it dropped. I could have just stopped firing and gotten my bearings a little better, but like everything was getting juggled around in the room so hard. I shouldn't have gone into the boss trap room. I should have saved that for afterwards. I didn't feel like there was potentially going to be anything that I couldn't handle. What's ironic is that without the moon card, I think I would have died in that boss trap room. That boss trap room was terrifying. Champion Peep was the first boss I was supposed to fight. It didn't help that the first hit was just me not dodging super well. The second hit was me being blinded by his like rays that went out. And I just couldn't see where anything was, and by the time it came back, I couldn't orient myself fast enough. What sucks is I killed him. What sucks is I killed him. But he killed me too, it would appear. And then I lost a coin flip. Ugh. Oh well. Dang, man. I wanted to see how that one was gonna play out. I probably shouldn't have bought the black candle. I thought we could overcome losing a soul heart. I took a risk to be able to see my health. And I took a risk to be able to see which items I was picking up. Like, I didn't want to get cursed with the blind. I should have taken all those risks after the boss fight, I guess. There's just a part of me that, like, I'm trying to figure out ways that I can not have, like, 30-minute floors on Isaac. Like, you know, there's a part of me that doesn't want to have to be quite so min-maxy and have it be like, hey, chat, this floor is going to take 45 minutes because I gotta do the rooms in this very specific order maximize the efficacy of you know, the resources I can extract from the floor with minimal risk. There's a part of me that's just like, oh, as long as I'm standing here, I might as well do this room. But in situations like that, man, if Isaac decides it's gonna throw its nastiest stuff at you, doing the rooms in the incorrect order is the difference between life and death. Like, I don't want to have to leave that soul heart on the ground. But it's sort of like the game dictates that you need that soul heart on the next floor, and you gotta look for sack rooms, and you gotta take the entire floor into account before you commit an action one way or the other, and it makes a 5-minute floor into a 20-minute floor. And while I don't think that's driving anyone away, it'd be glorious if I could streamline that kind of stuff, you know? The worst ones are where you go, why would anyone like this? I will now research it until I understand for reasons. What is it, the Rick and Morty joke about how that one Morty wishes that that incest porn had a more socially accepted perception? Mainstream appeal, exactly. It had more mainstream appeal. Then you flash forward to 2021, and it's just like you can't go to like Pornhub. You can't go to Pornhub without it being just chock full of like stepmom and stepsister and stepfather porn. I wouldn't mind leaving here with Blue Candle. I don't see how in the world that ever happens. I need bombs or flight or something. I don't know how that happens either. And sure as shit doesn't happen with famine. Oh, it's almost lunch o'clock. I don't know if Amber's even here. She might be out running errands, which is fine. I think there's still tuna fish in the fridge that I can slap on some bread. Yeah, or a spider, like, you know. The entire TV show Taboo with Tom Hardy was fucking great. Not everything that was in there was something that I was like, ooh. Tell me more, but like, I definitely enjoyed that series. We're supposed to be getting a season 2, but I'll be damned if that ever feels like it's gonna happen. When did Taboo come out? Like 2016, 2017? And now Tom Hardy is Venom? And he's getting enveloped into the MCU? Shit, we're never gonna see that man again. What are you doing, stepladder? What's also atrocious, driven me away from porn sites, the amount of titles that are like, okay, if this wasn't just obviously fake, yeah. There's some real gross stuff that's finding it. So like, you know, it's the one-upsmanship is finding its way into porn. But it's like, oof, it is aggressive one-upsmanship in a disconcerting way. Made a comment on the step phenomenon, immediately got called out on the videos popping up being tied to my personal cookies in the algorithm. My protestations were such were then disregarded. Yeah, there's a lot of like intensely taboo shit that gets tossed around on the internet that is like it's clearly a from anyone watching who's like, well, in a real life situation it wouldn't have lighting this good. But yeah, even like it, you know, if you sit there and look at it and go, well, wait a second, with that title though, that's a felony. What, you know, if it were real, what you would be doing would be a felony. Hi, baby.
Hello. What?
Sure, sounds great. We're just hanging out here talking about the state of modern day pornography. Thank you.
Gray hair.
Is it one of yours?
It's long enough, it must be.
If it has length, then it's one of yours. It's certainly not one of mine.
We have soup from last night.
Chat, did I go in the curse room? Is that where I got Guppy's paw? I definitely want a tuna fish sandwich because that's nice and easy to handle. A little soup sounds nice. Yeah, I'll put up with that. That is where I got Guppy's paw. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, dude, Mintac Canis. I used to have a European viewer who, for reasons I can't fully comprehend, was like, "Oh, dude, it's break time. My break alarm went off." I used to have a European viewer who like, I'd say something about wanting to keep my kids from what, like, I think it was Spider-Man Homecoming. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a tuna melt. Sometimes I'm in the mood just for a, like, I think generally today I'm more in the mood for a, I've got soup coming. So for me, soup is the hot component. So the sandwich needs to be the cold component. Now, if I didn't have any soup, if I had, like, I don't know, potato chips or potato salad, or just a side salad or something like that, then I'd be more excited about the idea of a tuna melt because that would be the warm component, and then like a Caesar salad would be the cold component. Love you, baby. Thank you for food. Huh. In much the same way that occasionally I just like even though a burger is always warm, or at least it should be, even when a burger is always warm, even though a burger's like always warm, served warm, even if it's on like a toasted bun, there's a part of me that, like, I can either be into a burger and just want like cold lettuce, cold tomato, cold onion, even cold condiments, even if it's all on a toasted bun. Especially if I've got like French fries or a hot side, baked beans, you know, you name it, whatever the side ends up being. But if it's like a cold day outside, I just feel like I need warmed up. Then the idea of getting a patty melt, you know, getting like a sourdough jack or something along those lines. That sounds dynamite, but it doesn't sound dynamite all the time. It doesn't sound dynamite all the time. I need a second bomb. Disappointing when it works out like that. I was actually hoping for consumables out of that. I was genuinely hoping for that big golden chest to pay out. There's a double tinted rock right there. But yeah, I was genuinely hoping for a bomb to gain access to that. But yeah, sometimes, you know, if it's warm outside, if I've got a big, heavy side dish that's going with it, that's pairing with it, then I want the sandwich to have cold components to it. To have a colder mouthfeel. But if it's like cold outside, or my side dish is like macaroni salad, or you know, just cold vegetables or something like that, then the idea of Well, what sucks is I have to take both if I want one. Now I want an imitation Waffle House patty melt. Patty melts are fucking dope. I love patty melts. And sourdough Jack's one of my go-to burgers. I was in Tennessee for a whole ass month and never went to Waffle House. Can't wait to be back. I haven't been to a Waffle House since I went with that 5,000-year-old Japanese reincarnated dragon. That's been years and years now. I think I bring it all in here. I think this is the only way I can make this happen. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this so that I don't forget that that is ideally what the play is. I will say this. I will say this. Through my time with Amber, I have realized that there have been times in the past, scrambled eggs being a good example, but scrambled eggs, my tuna fish, there have been a handful of things that I've over-seasoned over the years. She does a real nice job. Well, first of all, she did a nice job of tuning me into, like, watching YouTube videos where scrambled eggs were made, I say correctly, but in a way where the eggs are more the star of the show and not the shit I was putting into them, like garlic powder. So I've just learned to make scrambled eggs better. But yeah, tuna fish is the same way. She puts just a smear of mayo in there, just enough to bring it all together. Salt, pepper, and then really the star of the show, besides the tuna fish, is when I'm biting into that is white onion. I can taste white onion, a little bit of mayo, and cracked pepper, and then everything else just kind of marries together behind it, and it's kind of lovely. It's like low-key delightful. What kind of cheese on the tuna melt? I do like Havarti or Swiss. I can do cheddar too. There's no such thing as a bad cheese in my mind for that. Even if you get kind of fancy or funky with it, I feel like good things come from that. Damn. Hold on. Will what I have in here generate 5 cents? I believe it will. And if so, this strength card is technically a Hierophant card. Even feta? It might not be melty enough. I'd try it though. Never say never. You never know unless you give it a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh. I'm playing the odds. And the odds dictate that this counterfeit penny is going to give me at least 1 extra coin. I'll just be heartbroken if it doesn't. Yeah, if you use awful canned tuna, then it just tastes like nothing. It just tastes like the inside of the can. Ooh, dill Havarti sounds amazing. Sliced tomato on grilled cheese. I am getting to an age where I generally... Nice.
ace of diamonds.
I generally am. I don't want to say I'm shying away from. I don't want to say I'm shying away from tomato and sandwiches, but I have reached a point where I'm learning that I need the tomato slices to be much thinner. I'm to the point where I like razor thin tomato slices if I can help it. El Pablo, to answer your question from earlier, I have no idea if that's guaranteed. I just know that it seems to happen a lot. I don't think there's anything else I can really do with this floor. Nothing worse than having a bunch of tomato on your sandwich, taking a bite, and pulling out a big slice of tomato all at once. I'm not scared of you. Tomato that's too thick is bad, so it's getting a tasteless tomato that was designed to look pretty and travel well. Yeah, that's so many tomatoes are kind of boring now. I remember, you know, not that all of today needs to be about, well, when I was a kid. But I remember tomatoes being tastier, like the tomatoes that we were getting back before they kind of got more homogenized over 4 decades. Tomatoes used to be good enough on their own that you just put a little salt and pepper on them and they were a treat unto themselves. Sweet and kind of complex. Sweet and kind of grassy and earthy and you know, thirst quenching. With a little bit of salt and pepper. Obviously in my older years, like a little bit of basil, fresh basil. Delightful. And now, like, honestly, if I see the kind of tomatoes that I'd see at like a Subway at a place, I may not go so far as to like yoink those suckers off there, but like, if I bite into one and that fucker pulls out all in one piece, I just leave it on the wrapper and throw it away. It's not worth the effort to pick it up and chew it. Link Day, what's going on? Produce in the US tastes bad or like nothing because it's picked way too early, so it looks like it's ripened up, and ships is really super unripe and just colored correctly. Yeah, that's you know. Oh, okay, I should look at the screen. That's really one of those things that I regret has happened to the United States. I mean, one of the things I regret that has happened to the United States over the years is the tendency to move towards this we need homogeneity among our vegetables and produce. Can't have them looking weird or odd or like, you know, the first time I tried like purple fingerling potatoes, I was like, what's going on with this? And they're like, it's potatoes, and I was like, bullshit, it's not. Potatoes are brown and white on the inside. Or maybe red or white on the inside. The fact that carrots are not even supposed to be orange. And now, because I like food, I just want to taste all the stuff that's been meddled with over the years and see what it was like in its original form. I bet you it'd blow my mind. And so much of that stuff now is kind of lost forever. Sandwich is dynamite. Yeah, original bananas, original potatoes. Original carrots. No, Ryan, if I remember reading correctly, carrots, like so much other produce, used to come in damn near every color under the sun. The ones the ones that we've become accustomed to, if I remember correctly, and I could be fabricating this, so please fact check me, but if I remember correctly, the ones we've become accustomed to were made orange by geneticists, Dutch geneticists, who made them orange in order to honor the House of Orange, which is, you know, Dutchwegians. Correct me if I'm way off base here, but is the royal house, which is why the Netherlands' national color, despite having a red, white, and blue flag, is like they have like orange sports uniforms in like World Cup events and stuff like that. That originally carrots were not found orange in the wild. And that became kind of identified as what carrots were supposed to look like over time. And so that's what carrots have become to look like over time. That's one legend. It's disputed. There are drawings of carrots from Japan in the 6th century that shows them orange. Fair. Would it be reasonable to say then that once upon a time carrots came in as many colors as potatoes used to come in colors? Or at least used to come in more colors than orange. They still do, but you know what I mean. Like generally speaking, if I asked a 6-year-old what color a carrot was, they wouldn't say, well, it depends on the species. They're gonna say carrots are orange, and we wouldn't do that before like 100 years ago. Oh, there you go. Well, in that case, it'll be, if I ask an American 6-year-old what color are carrots, they'll say Monsanto, and I'll be like, that's right. they're Monsanto colored. Well, that's an interesting insight. I didn't realize that heritage produce, fruits and vegetables, were easier to come by outside the States. I just sort of assumed that every Tesco on the planet was suffering the same fate we were. I am both bummed and relieved that that's the case. Just trying to think if there's anything else I want on this floor. Well, underwhelming, this floor. U.S. carrots are woody and tasteless. You have to cook the hell out of them correctly to make them taste like anything. Carrots around the world actually taste sweet and good. I've been off carrots for a while, but yeah, like generally speaking, I vibe with that. I still think that they taste sweet. I think it's because I haven't been, you know, over the course of my old ass life, I haven't really been eating that many carrots. I still taste a sweetness in them, but again, I can only imagine what all these other sort of heritage, original, naturally occurring fruits and vegetables, what they would taste like before we made them look pretty. Amber made a stock pot soup with hominy, pinto beans, shaved down Monterey Jack cheese, and a little bit of cilantro for garnish. Basically like a tortilla soup without any tortillas in it. The corn flavor you get from the hominy. Yeah, I think I remember reading that somewhere, that the artificial flavoring for banana comes from a species of banana that most are from a very specific type of banana that most human beings have never had before. You know what's funny is I had hominy as a kid, and I think it was just one of those things where it kind of felt like a bait and switch. I just expected it to be big corn. and then it wasn't big corn, and I was just kind of pissed off. And so I convinced myself for like 2 decades that I didn't like hominy. And now as a 41-year-old guy who just loves food, I just know that hominy tastes like hominy, and I don't like feel jebaited about it. And you know, it's still got to be kind of used in the right element. But I like it very much. The Laffy Taffy flavor of banana is from a banana that has gone extinct. The banana mostly went extinct due to a fungus, and we were literally eating a different banana than what we taste in artificial flavoring. God, Dragon Dad. I was just thinking the other day about the fact... Yeah, I suppose. I was just thinking the other day about the fact that, like, with Grayson, we did cloth diapers, and we made our own baby food. And with Rory, we were just like, maybe we can get Grayson to take care of him. Grayson, here's the debit card. Go pick up disposable diapers and whatever neon day glow baby food they've got for your brother. Oh god, Abs, we were so excited about trying to keep like our carbon footprint down. We were so excited about like we made Grayson's food, we did cloth diapers. We played in Mozart in utero. We put like little we put classical music on while he was in utero. I don't know whether or not these spikes are gonna pop up. And with Rory, we were just like, yeah, life is hell, man. Here's a Monster Energy drink. We'll see you at dinner. Yeah, Reedy, that was it. It's like we finally reached a point at one space where basically we made healthy food for us and then just pureed it and whatever mom and dad were having for dinner, Grayson had as well. Yeah, we were very into being like modern hipster parents. With Rory, it got very different. With Grayson, whenever he dropped a pacifier, we would boil it to sterilize it before we gave it back to him. With Rory, I'd kick it over with, I'd kick it back to him with shoes I just mowed the yard in. I feel a little bit bad about that. And yet at the same time, he seems fine. Yeah, Rory, it's snack time. Grab yourself a cigarette and a cold beer. And typical crap us second children have to put up with. I feel bad because, yeah, like Rory... Grayson had run-of-the-mill, like he had absolute authority over just like Amber and her affection. And Rory, I feel like, had to be friends with me because there were just no other options. When it came to parents, he clearly got like second choice. And he's making the best of it. God bless him. He's really doing his best. He still tells me, like, he makes no bones about the fact that I'm his second favorite parent. And when I point out that there's only 2 parents, he goes, yeah, mom's pretty great. But he emphasizes that, like, it's not even close, that I take second by a wide margin from anyone else. And I don't have the heart to argue the logic with it, because frankly, I'm thrilled to be involved in the conversation. And it's like, I can't argue the placement, I can't argue that Amber's not great. People would see through that pretty quick. Too Forgetful says, I am salty and apathetic and an only child. And Grayson, here's your organic heirloom carrots and baby ganoush. It's on the counter. Roy, your Marlboro menthol light are on the mail stack in the hallway. We tied your binky to the collar of a very slobbery pit bull. It's just around the corner. Why don't you go grab that up? Secret room? Neat. It'd be really cool if it was right here. This room sucks, but I'm excited to see what item I'm going to be let down by in the other room. For once, I'm shocked to say it. This item is really good. Oh, I guess I just hide behind Dry Baby, huh? Pin! Oh, not pin. Like, evil pin. When mom says you have pin at home. So, turned quite the profit on that. I'm a firstborn, mama's born. My siblings are all daddy's kids. I was kind of in the same boat. I was a firstborn and a mama's boy. And my dad and my sister grew up thick as thieves. I'm the eldest of 4. I feel the exact opposite, but then again, I'm pretty sure I'm a disappointment to my parents. That's basically my dad with us boys. My sister's the youngest. What's next when you finish Little Nightmares 2? We gotta figure that out, frankly. I didn't pick one yesterday. Although I will say Salty is helping me by playing the 2 chapters of Visage that we already played that they force erased. Admittedly, they apologized. The people who made the game were like, "Hey, we're really sorry, but we gotta wipe your progress because of an update that we had," and that's a kind of a super bummer. But at least they apologized, I guess. But I didn't want to play those 2 chapters over again. So Salty Sparks is playing them. And when he's finished with it, he's going to shoot me the save file. But it won't be today. So I've got a list of a whole bunch of other... I could use keys. I've got a list of a whole bunch of other games that probably wouldn't take me very long to pull together. It'd take me like 10 or 15 minutes to install almost any of them. And if we have extra time left over today, if I manage to get through Little Nightmares 2 with relatively little problem, then we can pick one of those. And it shouldn't take me too terribly long to get it set up. Demon Souls in November. That is next on the list when we get to November. Unfortunately, Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro, while they may be horror games to some people, I'm like Neo with those games. I don't understand it. Man. So while those might be horror games for some folks, they strangely enough are not scary games for me. I have a tendency to just kind of rip through them. Isonex, what's going on? Welcome back. Yeah, as far as I can tell, because we have the PlayStation 5, if we just continue to do games in chronological order based on when they were funded, Demon Souls should be the first game we dip back into in November. people have said that if we did really well with Bloodborne and really well with Sekiro and really well with Dark Souls 2, that the Demon Souls, because it's the oldest game of all of them, that we really shouldn't struggle with it. I'd hate to put the cart before the horse and tempt fate, but that's what people have told me. Yeah, Arkham Assassin, that's what I heard, is that oh my god in heaven. That's what I've heard, is that ultimately, depending on how fast I'm solving puzzles, we either have 20 minutes of gameplay left. We either have 20 minutes of gameplay left or 90 minutes of gameplay left. It all just depends on what problem-solving hat I brought to school today. Oh my. Dude, if I get a golden key, some crazy shit's gonna go down. PS5. The whole reason that I hadn't started Demon Souls already, because we funded that one quite a while ago, was the fact that I didn't have a PS5 until last week. What am I doing? Nice to push him onto the spikes. We can have $1 if we need it right now. We can duplicate the 2 of diamonds. We can duplicate the 2 of diamonds. So it goes 25, 50, 50 to 100. So we technically have like 75 cents just sitting on the floor in the other room. Just what are we gonna do with it? I'm gonna leave the money on the floor for now, just in case. Ew! Ew! If that's a justice card, I'll be happy I did it.
Two of diamonds.
Hello? Now I just need all the keys in the realm. Thank you, game. Dude, how cool would it have been if the game had seen fit to give us Mom's key with all these chests, as long as we didn't open items right off the jump? We'd have made a fortune. You just clear those out of the way in case when I come back I'm able to open them up. Where's the jar of everything when you need it? Got a good laugh catching up with Little Nightmares 2. You're the second streamer I've watched, and the second streamer I've watched died of the tuning scene because you thought it was a cutscene. Yeah, it made sense to me that it would just be a cutscene, you know? They don't give you any indication that you're supposed to do anything. I think I finally figured it out that I was supposed to be tuning in, like, the first one's straightforward. It's just the right analog stick. Bombs are key. Nuts.
Lock down.
The first one's pretty straightforward. It's the right analog stick, which is what you've been doing on all the TVs. The second and third instances, you're tuning both sticks simultaneously. I think one is to bring his hands up, and then the other is to tune. And I think it changes once you hit it. Like, you don't get him to recoil. You don't get him to recoil until you've done it kind of correctly 2 or 3 times within the instance. So it felt a little button mashy, but we got there. I did not feel confident in what I was doing until it told me I was done. That is one more key. One more deal or no deal. One more deal or no deal chest that we get to open up. Let's go buy out the keys in the shop. Get that one. Justice. Get that one. That one. Bombs are key. We'll see what's going on up here. Guppy's Eye would be amazing. Matter of fact, let's see if we get our deal with the devil for exactly that. That is not a key. Guessed wrong. I do love a Tears upgrade. I suppose we're just guessing. You know what? It's another key. It's a bunch of keys. Yo, could we cascade through all of these? How great would that be? Less great. Less great. Come on. We were doing so good. Are any of these justice cards? Shit. You got the deal? What are you talking about? The deal with the devil? I'm 99% certain I did not. I had the door. I had the door to go down the mother route.
This is the story of the newest denizen.
Champion with a 12-month gifted sub to El Pablo. I actually have an idea. What if Ace of Spades? Fuck. I'm not ready to give up. Justice? Champion, thank you for the year-long sub. Yeah, your sub was out. You've been sitting naked for a hot minute. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to like call attention to it, but yeah, your sub's been out all day long. All day long. Champion, thank you so much, dude. Trying to figure out whether or not there's a cluster of skulls somewhere that might pay dividends. I'm desperate. I'm a desperate man. Taffy making no sub sound like someone with their fly open. We banned a dude yesterday during Little Nightmares, Champion, who was like brand new, no sub, no bit badge. And it's funny to me how frequently those people are just like, the ones who cause trouble are the ones who don't contribute. I don't think there's anything more to do, man. Apparently Noah went and found this guy on like social media and is convinced that Noah apparently is genuinely convinced he may know where this guy was on January 6th. Those who were, oh, you were here for that. Yeah, you were here for that. That was a nightmare. What did the kid do? He came in during Little Monsters, the movie Little Monsters with Fred Savage and Howie Mandel. He came in during Little Nightmares and was backseating. Backseating and spoiling. It wasn't hyper aggressive. Like, it wasn't the worst case I've ever seen. But he clearly has played the game before and clearly just wants to tell me how to beat it.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
Okay, it happens. You know, I'm not sweating that. That's an opportunity for coaching and correction. So I felt like I handled it pretty well and said effectively, like, hey man, you know, do me a huge solid. I'm playing the game for the first time. I'm enjoying that I don't know anything, so let me just go ahead and figure it out on my own. And then there was a second instance where it wasn't like egregious, but it was like, all right, well, I'll drop as close a hint as I can without spelling it out for him. And then that way I'm not spoiling or backseating. I'll just tell him what he needs to do. I just won't tell him how to do it. At which point I got a little more aggressive and was like, hey man, I want your viewership and your money, but I don't want your fucking advice. And then not too long after that, he, like, not only did he keep going, but he was talking about, like, oh, well, as kind of a gun nut, I enjoy blah, 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 blank. And after the second or third instance of, like, I'm gonna tell Taffy what to do without telling him what to do, and not listening to what I was asking him, you know, asking of him, Apocalyptic just went ahead and got rid of him. And apparently Noah went and looked him up later, and he was a real sort of like MAGA troll. The Rapid, 3 months of gifted tier 1 sub to Dom Falcon. The Rapid, thank you so much. And of course, Dom Falcon, please enjoy the emotes. Yeah, Champion, it cracks me up that we all can see the writing on the wall. And every once in a blue moon, you'll get somebody. There was a dude who came in later. I accept that not everybody can see the tags. I also accept that it's incredibly frustrating that, like, if you don't do the tags correctly, people will spoil and backseat, and they'll go, well, if you didn't want to be spoiled and backseated, why don't you have that in your tags? But then if I do put the tags in correctly, somebody will, like, spoil something or backseat me, and I'll be like, hey, don't do that. It's in my tags. And they're like, well, I'm on mobile. I can't see your fucking tags. So, like, that can be kind of a pain in the ass. But I always try to set the tags up correctly. I always try to make sure, you know, that I point that out. I just kind of tap to the sign and go, hey, don't do that. But there was a guy who came in yesterday and was just like, backseating or no. And the mods who had just gotten rid of this, like, MAGA troll, we're like, hey, no backseating. He's like, all right, cool, I just wanted to ask. And when that happens, we're just like, hey, have a gifted sub, come back and see us again sometime. Yeah, Jay the 111, that's kind of my point, is that, like, with those people, it's always going to be, they act on impulse, and then regardless of what you say for why they should have known better, they'll have a reason why they shouldn't have known better. Be like, hey, don't backseat me, please and thank you. They'll be like, is it in your tags? I don't see it there. Like, okay, let me put it in my tags. And then the next day they come in and they'll backseat you and they're just like, oh, sorry, I didn't read the tags. I don't read tags, I'm on mobile or whatever. What are we eating today? So we had a tuna fish sandwich, and now we're having, I don't think you'll be able to see it. It looks like tortilla soup. That's basically what it is. It's a Mexican hominy and pinto bean soup with Monterey Jack cheese and cilantro. And it's very good. It's very easy. Amber basically throws about 9 cans of stuff into a crock pot and then just turns it on. Yeah, Cobalt, I can only imagine. What the hell? Yo, thank you, Curse of the Maze. I didn't want to see that shop or item room anyway. I'll just do the mom fight then.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the
I guess I saw the shop. The shop didn't have anything in it. I would have liked to have seen the item room. Game Shark, tier 1 sub, going out to Sinister Humanoid. Game Shark, thank you so much. Very, very cool, very generous. I appreciate that. And of course, Sinister Humanoid, please enjoy the emotes. Yo, this had better be a dynamite deal with the devil. He nearly got to finish saying before the game. Karate chopped him in the neck. Colioli would be good. My range is good. Gotta be one of those days where I run, don't walk to the second game. Oh, I totally forgot I could have abyssed it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Rory's so emotional. I don't know where he gets it from. There we go. I'm just stunned at how poorly that floor went. And for once, it's through no fault of my own. I mean, like, obviously I should have abyssed Krampus's head. But there was no shop. There was no shop and we weren't allowed to see the item room. Makes me the teensiest bit salty. I think the run's fine. I just, you know, when you're as many hours into the game as I am, you kind of count on like interesting stuff happening and good builds happening, so that ultimately
answers.
You know, your excitement is generated, hopefully not by the number of runs you have that are awfully close to flopping. Like, you don't want to have stressful runs. For me, the excitement gets generated from building, like, really strong and interesting runs, which means, and it's harder to do now than ever, it means getting a lot of good items, you know? You can't do that if the game forces you to miss floors and gives you crap deals with the devil. I can't remember the last time I saw a item in the secret room. I am very intentionally dragging Dry Baby through as many lines of shots as I can, trying to get him to proc off and just save me the work. Have you unlocked Rock Bottom yet? I honest to God can't remember. Probably not on this file, not yet. Oh, I'm gonna finish the floor and then get rid of these dishes. Oh, it's the Jacob and Esau unlock? No. I've done a little bit of regular Jacob and Esau. I have not done Tainted Jacob, and I'm certainly not in a rush to do that. Tainted Jacob and Esau was my least favorite part of Repentance in the first file clear. I'm certainly not looking forward to it in the second one. I need one of you guys to hit dry, baby. Thank you. Ow. Shit. Hello? There we go. Maybe we'll get another deal with the devil. Well, in one way or another, we're gonna get another deal with the devil item. In one manner or another, we're getting another deal with the devil. Dude, I can't take that. What don't you get? Whew. I got the angry sleepies. Let's muscle our way through this run. Huh. Jackspot tips $100 and says, for sushi. That is what Grayson has requested for dinner tonight. Jackspot, thank you so much, man. I will happily set Grayson up with a dope sushi dinner this evening. I've been complaining about how Amber and I had our 40th and 41st birthdays ripped away from us by this pandemic. It's easy to forget sometimes that Grayson and Rory have had two of their most formative years ripped away from them as well. So I'll be more than happy to set them up with an exceptionally dope meal this evening. That was without hesitation. Without hesitation, that was the thing that Grayson wanted for dinner. Amber said, "What do you want for dinner? You know, on your birthday." And without missing a beat, he said sushi and got a big grin on his face. So I will absolutely use that hundo and make his desires come true this evening.
X-Lax.
Thank you, Jackspot. Very, 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 very generous. Better get that boy a feast. Well, that and Booth Montoya paid out today too, so I got 150 bucks from Booth Montoya today. So between Jackspot and Booth Montoya, I would say that sushi is handled this evening. Yeah, I'll let him order whatever he wants. And then obviously, like, Rory doesn't really go in on sushi, but he goes in on miso soup and he goes in on just copious amounts of white rice. So I'll get him like his own order of gyoza or pot stickers or whatever he wants. I'll get Grayson whatever he wants. I'll tell Amber to go nuts, and then I'll probably, just to keep it under 200 bucks for a dinner, I'll probably go more reasonable on my end. I'll throw myself down on the Sense and Sensibility blade. I don't think, like, I feel like I don't need to be, like, I don't want to be the guy who, I don't want to order more sushi than I can eat, I guess is what it boils down to. There are times when I go and I get sushi and it feels like such a rarity that I can get sushi. that I have a tendency to go overboard and have like leftovers for like a day and a half afterwards. And I don't think I need to do that this time around. I think I can just like get a good meal and call it good. Yeah, like that's exactly it. Legolas, like we'll let Rory. Oh, I don't need to be doing this. I don't have extra keys. What am I doing? Yeah, that's a. We'll let him pick like some teriyaki chicken or some chicken yakisoba. We'll let him pick out whatever sounds good to Rory. He genuinely, if he could just get miso soup and all the white rice he could eat, he'd be incredibly happy. I've made rice pilaf from scratch. I've made Spanish rice from scratch. I've made fried rice from scratch. And whenever I make any sort of flavored rice, the first thing that Rory asks is if there's an unflavored version of it. Because all he wants is just white rice. He would eat a meal of just a big bowl of white rice if he could. He adores sticky rice that much. Yeah, El Pablo, there's a part of me that hopes that as I grow older that I won't continue to be the only person in the family who eats spicy food. I would love being able to take one of the boys to like good Szechuan cuisine. Next subject for today is your favorite Halloween picture, like motion picture, like film. I like the cut of his jib. I absolutely love a big bowl of just plain sticky rice. Has he tried risotto? I haven't put the effort in.
Judgment.
I haven't put the effort in on like a full-blown risotto. Because it is so much elbow grease. I just don't want to put in the labor necessary to make a good risotto unless I'm in the mood for it. I don't want to do it to try to sway Rory over, because odds are, even if he loves it, he'll revolt against it just to be contrarian. I read somewhere that your tastes change about once every 7 years. They'll come around. Yeah, I mean, I try not to be impatient about it or not take it personally. He does still continue to try like the normal 7-year-old stuff where I make him a perfectly acceptable, delicious, healthy meal. He's like, oh, I'm so stuffed I couldn't eat another bite. Thanks, Dad. This was so good. And I'm like, there's 2 bites missing from that. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't eat any more if I tried. I don't know what to tell you. You made a dinner so good. I couldn't possibly eat any more. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. You're done. And he's like, could I possibly, though, talk you into letting me have an ice cream sandwich? And I'm like, I thought you were so full you couldn't possibly eat any more. What's going on there? You can't just skip dinner, my guy. You can't just skip dinner and then turn around and be like, ah, well, I can probably go for like just a little bit of dessert.
Puberty.
The picture from Disneyland. Oh, God, yeah. Saw last time you were whining about Rory not really liking anything else but white rice. Yeah, I talk for 7 hours a day, 6 days a week, so stuff gets repeated. For sure. What are you talking about? Dessert tummy and food tummy's not the same? Yeah, but unfortunately, like, if I neglect his health and welfare and the, you know, if I neglect, because he's a kid, if I neglect getting nutritious food into him, he'll eat garbage food and I'll be responsible for him contracting diabetes. And if I do a really poor job of it, I get to go to jail. Neat. My guy, please, I'm begging you. I'll give you one more. Okay, I'll give you one more. Because Gish said it's on the house. There we go. Yeah. Make some germinated brown rice if your guests love pure rice flavor. Well, A, I'm sure you're absolutely correct. That sounds awesome, and I'd love to try it. But B, my guest is my 7-year-old, so he's a guest, but he'll be staying for 2 decades. And he's counting on me to, like, guide his hand through the... He doesn't know it, but he's counting on me to guide his hand through the culinary world. Whoo-wee, keys are gonna be at a premium on the chest. Hey, Taffy, why do you feed your children properly? Taffy, well, you know, because jail. Because incarceration if I fuck it up real bad. Plus, like, my parents weren't big culinary people. So, like, my mom has openly admitted that, like, she didn't really concern herself with taking her 2 Texan children. She didn't really concern herself with taking her 2 Texan children and making us aware of all the culinary wonders of the world. It was just like, you know, we're doing meatloaf because it's easy. Ugh. We're doing meatloaf because it's easy and it's what I know how to make. And tomorrow we'll do lasagna. And the next day we'll do, you know, fried chicken and mashed potatoes because these are all meals I know how to make. And I'm not really... My mom was working 2 jobs most of the time, sometimes 3. And so between working her 2 or 3 jobs, I can't blame her for not, like, going on the non-existent internet of the time, like going and tracking down cookbooks and being like, I'm gonna expand my family's culinary horizons tonight. And if I know my family, my kids are not gonna like it because they're 5 and 7, and my husband's not gonna like it because he's a meat and potatoes guy. Ooh, shit, I thought that guy was dead. Not my dad, he's very alive, but the ghosty guy here. My Vietnam War veteran husband will hate it. My kids won't like it, and I'll be... I remember my mom caught shit one time because she made something... It was pretty hideous. What I remember, we called it chicken surprise. We thought, we told her it was like something out of the 92 Addams Family movie. Like, we were surprised it didn't fight back against the fork. It was a really, in my defense, it was a terrible dish. But we shouldn't have made fun of the woman who was working 2 jobs and feeding us and doing our laundry at the same time. So like, she didn't really ever work hard to branch out and really expand our palates. I work from home. I work from home and I love cooking, so ultimately I've got no excuse to not try and at least have my kids go out in the world and be like, oh yeah, I like Thai food. Oh yeah, I like sushi. Oh, I don't like spicy food. And I don't like pho or whatever. Like, when they get to college, I want them to be armed with the knowledge of generally what their likes and dislikes are. So that when their friends go, hey, do you like Indian? They go, yeah, man, I love Indian. Let's go. Unlike me, who got into his mid-20s and people were just like, do you like Korean barbecue? And I'm like, I've never had Korean barbecue. Do you like Indian food? I was like, I've never had Indian food. RS Fighter, thank you for the 300 bits. Also, Taffy, hello, a Halloween movie I recommend for you and your kids is Scary Godmother. I watched it as a kid. It's not long. It's like 40 minutes. I was thinking about showing them Army of Darkness. I was toying with the idea of showing them Army of Darkness. Yaman Tushka, what's going on? Welcome. He dissed spam. It was earned. I like spam warmed up. Spam warmed up is pretty good. Same thing with like Scrapple. Scrapple heated up, like obviously Scrapple cooked until it's got crispy edges is really good. Oh, wow. Yamantushka says, just watched Jacksepticeye's video. Wanted to drop you a follow. I can't believe that video came out a year ago, and there's been a half dozen people this week who have shown up from that video. I was saying it a year ago, and I'll say it again now. Like, every time I think that I've accomplished something as a content creator, every time I hit a milestone or, you know, get a paycheck for sponsored time or get a big tip from somebody like, you know, Jackspot dropping $100. Every time something like that happens, I remind myself that Jacksepticeye dedicated like 2.5 minutes of a 20-minute video to us, and that people are still showing up here a year later because of it. And it really humbles me as to what I've actually accomplished with my global celebrity. Fucking nothing compared to the guy who was in Free Guy. I did tell this story the other day too, but I think it bears repeating.
Shot speed up.
My son Rory told me that Free Guy was not his favorite film of all time, even though he and his brother gushed over it when we saw it at the drive-in. Absolutely gushed over it, and I said, Bud, why is Free Guy not your favorite film? We just spent $20 to own a digital copy of it. Why is it not your favorite film? He said, well, I like it. It's great. But it would have been better if they had shown you too. You're a very good streamer. They showed Jacksepticeye and they showed Ninja, but they didn't show you, and that's why it's not my favorite movie. Ow. I was like, you know what? Grayson's birthday's coming up, but you also get whatever you want. That kid's painfully honest, man. That's, he tells me I'm his second favorite parent, but he means it as a compliment. And I know he means it as a compliment because he also tells me that Free Guy would be his favorite movie if only they had featured Dad as one of the streamers. Yeah, he's either going to be a really nice person or an excellent confidence man. That's pretty good. That's pretty fun. That's okay. I mean, there's no reason not to take some of these. Ugh. Took me out to Wine Dine 69 me and didn't hear a damn word I said. I'm gonna leave that there just in case I need to turn red hearts into soul hearts. Yeah, that's kind of a problem, is that Rory doesn't know how to be disingenuous. Occasionally, I can stand to have that kid soften his edge a little bit, but he just he doesn't have that in him. Well, this is the day of having Ipecac handed to us, huh? I'll do it. Yeah. Play-Doh Ipecac sprinkler time? Question mark? I'm in the weeds over David S. Pumpkins. Are we supposed to know who that is? The skeletons are part of it. Second favorite parent is good placing. His third or lower you have to worry about. That's when you accidentally find out about mommy's friend. You're my third favorite parent. Really, son? I should be your first favorite parent. Who's a better dad than me? Well, mommy's friend Jim is a great dad. Huh? Hold up. Hold up a minute. What did you say? Mommy's friend Jim. Mommy's friend Jim always shows up here after you go to work and brings toys. You don't bring me toys home from work, but Jim brings me a toy every time he visits. Where are you thinking, Jim? I just had to pick a random. I had to pick a random name. When I was a kid. Oh my. When I was a kid, we had a family friend whose name was Jim. He was a very funny guy, and I liked him very much. But he cheated on his missus with his high school daughter's friend. And ended up blowing up his marriage. To the mother of his 2 children. Ended up blowing up his marriage with the mother of his 2 children to marry his daughter's friend. You're gonna be shocked to hear this, chat. They're not together anymore. It would appear that the luster was off that relationship relatively fast. So yeah, that dude. When I was thinking about like what's the diciest sort of sauciest most taboo mommy's friend so and so I can think of. Jim popped to mind pretty quick. If they can't make it work, what chance do any of the rest of us have? That was one of those ones where like I was a teenager when that happened. I was like a 12, 13-year-old, just barely a teenager. Like I wasn't friends with this girl. I was friends with the daughter because we were all just a big, collection of family friends. But like I didn't go to school with them. I was a middle schooler and they were high schoolers at the time. But even as a middle schooler, I was just like, yo, my head is filled with nothing but bad ideas. As a middle schooler, my head is filled with nothing but bad ideas. And even I can see that what you're about to go do is a really bad idea. I was like, damn, my guy. Even the 12-year-old is like, this is a fucking terrible idea. Yeah, let's do this. Hoo-wee, Rick. Yo, I found it. First try. I wish I could say I did it on purpose. It was completely on accident. But I'd say it worked out okay. What do you got going on in here for me? A little holy crown? Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Now we can go set it back down. I am going to go Guppy's paw this red heart away. And then we'll go to work. It ended up a strong run, but Pogman today, like, I take that back. The one run that started strong, I died early because I was taking reasonably big chances. The other 2 runs that didn't start as strong, I had to play conservative as hell. And those are the ones that ended up snowballing at the very end. Yeah, that Jim story had strong American Beauty vibes for sure. Why did I do all this? Just pick that up. Are you really invested in the idea, Ryan? That the D6 is gonna pay out here? God, that makes me wonder how that Jim dude's doing. I haven't heard about him in decades.